Hey, what's up guys, it's Girl Hands, and today I'm showcasing a game that you probably are not very familiar with unless you played played PC gaming before the turn of the century. This is Aliens vs. Predator, and this was released back in 1999. They actually re-released it in 2010 as Aliens vs. Predator Classic 2000. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe they updated some textures. I believe they added in some extra missions, but I figured I'd buy it. It was $5 on Steam. A big reason I'm showcasing this gameplay, though, is one, just simply for nostalgic reasons. I loved playing this game growing up. It was really awesome. I love the atmosphere that was established in this game. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is I believe February 12th, Aliens Colonial Marines is going to be released, and I am super excited for that game. This is the first Aliens game I've been excited for in quite some time. I loved Aliens vs. Predator. Wasn't really a big fan of Aliens vs. Predator 2. I just didn't really like the artistic style of it, although it had a better overall storyline versus the original game. And then I think they put out an Aliens vs. Predator in 2010, and they put out a couple other games as well. And I don't know, I haven't been interested in any of those games, but there's something about this game that's really got me interested, this one that's getting ready to be released. I really like how they're approaching it. I think the Aliens franchise in general is a good example of something that can mix both action and horror in the same kind of genre. I think a lot of games are trying to do that now, like Resident Evil 5 and 6, and even Dead Space 3 to some degree. They're trying to mix both action and horror, and I don't really think that mixture has been working all that well. But with Aliens, I think if it's done right, it could be an absolute stellar game. It could make for some really awesome experiences. Because it's just, I think one of the dynamics that I really like about the game, you can't hear it in this gameplay video, but the motion sensor, I think, kind of adds a very creepy element to it. And how it works is anything within 30 meters of you, if it's moving, you'll get a little ping on your radar. And honestly, that's your lifeline. If you, because you can tell how dark all the hallways are in this game. And like I said it before, I really like the atmosphere of Aliens vs. Predator. It's very hard to see things sometimes. You have like this strobe light effect going down the hallways. You don't really know what's around around the next turn. And the aliens are ridiculously fast in this game. Just because you know they might be coming doesn't mean you're truly prepared for them, because they can jump 30 meters as if it's nothing. So they're very fast creatures, and on top of that, if you shoot them too close, they bleed acid. So they're a double threat. They can just rip you apart with their claws and tail, and then even if you do damage them, they could bleed all over you and still kill you. So the motion sensor is really your only way of kind of detecting if they're coming. The problem is sometimes the motion sensor will just go off. Just in general, it'll go off. You don't know why it's doing that, so it kind of just freaks you out in general. The other thing is anything that causes motion will cause the motion sensor to go off. So an elevator moving up and down, a door opening and closing. So there's different ways where both that tool will help you and also freak you out at the same time. And the best parts, the best scenes are, especially in this game, the aliens can run through the vents above you. So sometimes the motion sensor will go off and you don't even see them. It's straight from a scene from the original Aliens. So I really like that aspect, because you're still a Marine, you're still blowing shit up all the time, but at the same time, you're always on the edge of your seat. So I think it's a game that's done very well. It's one of the few, I guess, other games like that would be like, Doom. Doom's another franchise. I think it's a good mixture of both horror, but just constant action as well. So I hope that this next game, this new game that's getting ready to come out, can kind of capitalize on all that stuff and make for a really fun experience. Other reasons I'm really excited for the game is it's going to continue the narrative of the Aliens movie, and that's, I don't know, it's either Alien or Aliens are I don't know which one's my favorite. I mean, I don't like anything past those. Aliens 3 or Alien 3, not so much, and Resurrection, and yeah. Any of the Aliens movies past Aliens have been complete crap. So if the campaign is interesting and it kind of follows that same narrative, that could have a lot of potential. That could make for some really exciting experiences. And on top of that, it's supposed to have a co-op campaign as well. I don't know if it's a separate branch of missions or if it's just kind of like a drop-in, drop-out on the traditional campaign. I have to look into that a little bit more. And they also have multiplayer. They have like a horde missions where you have to just fight off waves of aliens. And then even competitive multiplayer in which you're kind of fighting against aliens. It's like Left 4 Dead. So you have humans and then you have aliens, and the aliens are controlled by people and they're trying to prevent you from getting to different goals or completing certain objectives. So there's a lot of options when it comes to this game. It looks really good, and Gearbox is behind it. So I mean, that's another kind of positive thing for this game as well. So I'm really, really excited to see what happens with this game. So yeah, really excited for it. I'm definitely going to be putting up some gameplay in the near future. and I hope it's good. I mean, I'm kind of going on blind faith with this. I've seen some gameplay, but I don't really know a whole lot beyond what I just told you guys. So I mean, it could be a dud and it could be amazing. So that remains to be seen. So real quickly, I'll talk about the game. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I love this game. I love the atmosphere. Obviously, the graphics are going to look very dated. I didn't even say it in the beginning of the commentary. This is supposed to be a live com, but for some reason or another, the AverMedia didn't capture any game sound or any of my live commentary. It's something to do with this game, because I actually went back and just tried to record gameplay footage again, and it just would not record any game sound. So I'm sorry about that, but yeah, one of the things I mentioned was this game is going to look a little bit dated. I think in the very beginning of this walkthrough, I kind of stood in front of a mirror and walked back and forth. I thought that was amazing back then. You know, when I was growing up and there was a mirror in a video game and it showed you a reflection, that was a technological feat in video games. That's something you didn't see very often. So I thought that was absolutely badass. I mean, the visuals in this game was amazing, but you know, that was 13 years ago. Things have definitely changed. There's much more polygons being rendered on the screen at once versus when this game was released. Another thing I really liked about this game was there was 3 separate campaigns. You could play as the Marine, which is kind of similar to a normal first-person shooter. You could play as the Alien or you could play as the Predator, and they each had very distinct styles that I enjoyed. So there's a lot of replayability in this game. Plus, there's online multiplayer. You could play as an alien, human, or Predator, and it kind of had this rock, paper, scissors aspect as well. But the Predator still was kind of the most badass of all of them. He was pretty much a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, be prepared for more gameplay in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like always, take it easy.